y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Katie and I make stuff vegan. Okay, so boom. So I have a bit of a different video today. Like I got this idea and I was like, ooh, because someone commented on my video like a couple weeks ago and was like, hey, I'm gonna be a vegan, you got any tips? And I've been chewing on that because I'm like, yes, I have tips, but it's just like, okay, how I'm gonna do it? And I got a way to do it. So if you wanna see my recommendations for your first 24 hours of being vegan, keep on watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe so you never miss any of my videos. I ain't cooked nothing today, so I don't have a recipe, but I will link my website so you could tippy tap tap and peruse. Okay, let's get started. All right, boom. So it's your first day. You like, okay, I'm gonna go vegan today. Okay, so I think the very first step is to understand what you're getting yourself into. So like understanding like what the vegan diet consists of, right? So you are abstaining from any animal product or byproduct. So real quick, let's get into it. So not only are you not eating any meat, and I wanna pull over real quick and be like, that also includes fish. And I know that might be like, duh, but I remember when I first went vegan, like my grandma was like, oh, you want some fish? I'm like, girl, be for real. She was like, fish is not meat. Come on. You know what I'm saying? It is. So any animal or any byproduct. So that includes like honey, you know, stuff like that. Okay. And then no dairy as well, which is like a byproduct. So no cheese, no milk, no da da da. All right. Once you got that under your belt, now you're ready for step 2, which is understanding you're going to make mistakes. Now, I've been vegan for almost 6 years and I still make mistakes. Stuff still happens because you know what? We don't live in a vegan world. And I think the moment you accept that, you just trying your best, that's like the most important thing. Like there have been times where like there might be honey in something, you miss an ingredient when you're reading the packaging, like anything can happen. Obviously, the longer you're vegan, the more diligent you get, the less apt you are to make mistakes, but stuff is gonna happen. And like, the best thing you could do is just like not be too hard on yourself and just like keep it pushing. I remember like I was maybe like 3 weeks into being vegan. And this was before we had like a billion vegan cheese options. Like there was this brand, I don't know if it's still around, like called Veggie something. And they make like vegan cheeses and stuff like that. But they also make like lactose free cheese. And I remember like, I don't know, I picked it up because I thought like lactose free meant vegan, which it doesn't, because like think about like lactate milk is still milk, right? But like, you know, I was eating meat like up until that point for like all of my life, right? And I was in my mid-20s. So I was like, all right, boom, like period. And I got in the car and I was like, let me try this freaking vegan cheese. And I was like, this is good. Like I could do this. Yeah, it was probably like week 1 or 2. And I was like, okay, I could do this. And I look on the packaging, I'm looking at the packaging, it has milk in it. And I felt so bad. I'm like, dang. So it happens, but you gonna learn, don't worry. Okay, so now that you got all that out the way, like we know what it means to be vegan. And like, okay, before I get like too many people in the comments being like, that's not all of it, right? I describe like plant-based. Obviously like veganism like extends to your life. So like you don't also like wear animal products. You try to be like sustainable. Like yes, that's also it, but like let's not do too much, okay? Like people are trying to figure out what they're gonna do, okay? So like keep it cute. Okay, so now it's time for you to go to the grocery store. Now I will say like just off the rip, this should not be something you do in a rush, right? Like you've just decided to change your whole stuff. Like you change, I feel like for me, especially like as a person who used to eat like meat like 3 times a day, this was like the opposite end of the spectrum. I feel like the only further I could go was being raw vegan. So when you go to the grocery store that first time, like you have to have time. Like you have to have time. But let me break it down for you because I feel like there's steps to this. Okay, so you go to the grocery store, you're going to do a normal grocery shop, right? You're gonna start at your produce, you're gonna get everything you normally get, except you're gonna go right past the meat aisle. That's typical, right? That's the only thing you really gotta avoid, the meat aisle. Now, luckily for you, you're watching this video in 2022. When I tell you like the vegan market looks so different, like plant-based, dairy-free, all that, it looks so much different than how it looked when I went vegan. Like you really got it all. You just got it all, okay? Like I don't even hate it for real. I love it. I love that it's accessible. I love all of it. Like it's amazing. So boom. So you want to sit the meat aisle, like say bye to that. Go to the dairy section, and this is what you're finna do. If you are an egg girl, they got Just Egg. If you are a milk girl, like I used to drink milk. Well, you know, it's my grandfather's fault. Like I used to drink milk like a drink. Like I was one of those people like, who drinks milk with a meal? Me. Okay, So when you get your milk, like there's so many options. But like if you're like a 2% girl, like you like the 2% milk, I would recommend getting an oat milk because it's like higher in fat, it's thicker, it's creamier. And then if you were like a skim milk or like a 1%, you can get like an almond milk or even a cashew milk, which is like, cashew milk is like, we teeter on a little bit watery, but that's just my opinion. You can also get all your yogurts over there. They're gonna have all different types of flavors and brands of vegan yogurt. So many vegan cheese, like, I feel like vegan cheese, like I just want to pull over. Okay, especially if like you're a cheese person. I feel like I'm a little bit biased. I didn't really care for cheese too much when I wasn't vegan, so it wasn't really a deal breaker for me. Like honestly, the fact that I gave up meat is crazy to me. Like if I met 18-year-old Katie, I'd be like, girl, you doing what? Why are you doing it? But anyway, like just don't try Daiya first. Don't try Daiya first, and don't try, what's that? Cow. I'll put a picture up. Cow cheese is not bad, or chow cheese. It's not bad, but it's not a good first vegan cheese. A good first vegan cheese is anything Violife. Period. Let me think. Violife, or if you have a Whole Foods, anything like 365. That's a good first vegan cheese. Then you can get adventurous. If you want to, if you're vegan, you want to leave other recommendations in the comments, you can, but stay away from Daiya. Daiya has got her money up. Like she did get it together when the other girls started coming out with other brands, but you weren't there for the OG Daiya. Like I'm talking about Sandpaper and Vibes. Like you weren't there, okay? But just stay away from Daiya. And like low key, I'm not gonna say the other brands, but don't do nothing adventurous. Daiya and Chow are like for later on, because you don't want to lose focus. Like you want to stay focused. Okay, so anything Violife, 365, those are good vegan like first cheeses. Like I remember I even gave somebody a little piece of like, was it my cousin? It was my cousin. He was a chef. Was it him? Yeah, and he tried it. He was like, this just tastes like cheese. Yeah. Okay. So they have everything you can choose from. Like just pick through that. Okay. Boom. When you're done with that, when you're done in the dairy section, now I would recommend that you venture over into, you know, where they keep the vegan products at, because like it's your first day, you got to eat something. You get home, right? So go to the vegan protein aisle. The vegetable protein aisle is going to be next to the frozen vegetables typically, and just peruse. They got vegan burgers over there. They have vegan chicken strips, vegan chicken tendies, you know, like they have a whole bunch of stuff. Vegan fish, vegan crab cakes, like they might even have vegan wings. Like they're gonna have a bunch of stuff that you could like get your feet wet. And I feel like also a good thing, they're gonna have like vegan crumbles, right? Like they're gonna have like, if you want to make like some spaghetti, if you want to make some tacos. I think tacos is a good first vegan meal. I'm biased because I love tacos. I think they're the best the best food ever. Like it's my top #1 favorite food, but like it's a good way to get your feet wet. So I will go over there, and depending on how your grocery store is laid out, you might have to go back to the meat section, because that is where like Impossible and Beyond might be. And honestly, I feel like Impossible and Beyond are a good first vegan ground beef thing to do, because their texture resembles so much of meat, even to the point where like I've looked at a vegan burger and been like, hold on, did y'all just give me meat? And there are vegans who don't like it because like it's too close to meat. But that's a good, you know, little swap-a-roo. But everything's gonna be over there. If not, like some grocery stores, I can think like Wegmans is like, that's kind of annoying actually, where like they want to incorporate everything into everything, and it's like now I'm walking around the store, I just realized, saying it out loud, they know exactly what they're doing, huh? They know exactly what they're doing. They want you in that store longer. But anyway, yeah, go over and see. And like, honestly, let me know if you want a part 2, because there's a reason why I'm staying away from like tofu and stuff. Like I have other things in my mind, but like I just want to see like what y'all think about this first, okay? But yeah, okay. So the rest of your trip is going to be seeing what you can salvage from your, you know, your little formal days. Like seeing what things you buy normally are still vegan. So first of all, Oreos, if you bought Oreos, they still vegan. Hey girl. If you like chips, potato chips are still vegan normally. Pretzels are still vegan normally. Tortilla chips. The purple bag of Doritos in the United States, I don't know about what the UK and them is doing, but the purple bag of sweet chili vegan or sweet heat, whatever it's called. A lot of your barbecue sauces will not be, but Sweet Baby Ray's, which is a barbecue sauce you should have been using anyway, to be for real. They're like regular plain barbecue sauce, doesn't have any honey in it. See what you can salvage. You gotta be like this. And that's why I'm saying you should have time, because you're gonna be in there like reading with your finger, making sure you don't see no milk fat, lactose, what else will be in there? Honey, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just gonna be reading ingredients and seeing what you normally buy, what you can salvage. Your fruit snacks not gonna be vegan no more. They're gonna have gelatin, but you can, you know, I really like the Annie's fruit snacks. I feel like I'm in the minority, but like I like them because they just taste better than like a Welch's or something to me. But like, just go up and down the aisles and see what you can salvage, and also discover what's new. Okay, boom. So you did your shopping or whatever. But I feel like, am I the only one that if I just grocery shop, like, we can't eat that food, like, we gotta eat it tomorrow. Okay, so now you gotta figure out what you're gonna eat. So you are going to Google search something that you probably have never Google searched before, and that is vegan restaurants near me. And just see what your city has to offer. And even if you live like in the middle of nowhere, you never know. Okay, actually, I used to play in this orchestra in Elmira, New York. It wasn't no vegan restaurants over there, so I'm not gonna do too much. Like, and I'm not gonna like. Okay, it's not in the middle. It is kind of in the middle of nowhere, cause it's like we're between like Rochester and Albany. Like, where are we at? You know what I'm saying? But okay, if you live out there, I don't know what to tell you. But Syracuse does have this really good like vegan spot. Is it vegan or does it have vegan options? I don't know. You'll be surprised what I'm saying. Like, Rochester, when I used to live in Rochester, I was eating down boots. Okay, like the Red Fern. There was this like Greek vegetarian spot. What was that called? Like, oh man, it's been years. I don't remember what it's called. Like, they opened this pizza joint that I don't really go to that often, because why is it so expensive? They had like this other spot that I think closed. Oh, that's sad. That was at the farmer's market. Like, you will be surprised how many places are in your city because you never look for them. Okay, boom. After you do that, you're gonna look for restaurants with vegan options. Like, these are great because they have thought about incorporating veganism into the menu, or plant-based stuff into the menu. So like here in Memphis, a good example of that to me would be Huey's, because like Huey's is like a dive bar chain type thing, but they have like a vegan burger. You know what I'm saying? City Silo, they have like a breakfast burrito that you can make vegan. You know, so those are like examples of restaurants in my city that like, they're not vegan, but they have vegan options. That's kind of like what you want. You want to see like what options they got. Cheesecake Factory. I feel like every city has a Cheesecake Factory. You can get the brown bread. Actually, I don't know. Last time I went to Cheesecake Factory, I feel like the brown bread was vegan, or wasn't it? I don't know. I feel like I got the white bread to be safe. And then you ask for oil instead of the butter. You just gotta be like, you gotta be creative and just be like, okay, what places got vegan options? And then when all else fails, you gotta know what places don't have vegan options, but you could be creative, right? So like Taco Bell is a good place to go. I don't go to Taco Bell personally anymore because it was too much cross-contamination, and like, I'm a very dramatic person just by nature. I don't know what's wrong with me. And I'm just not that girl. Like, once like the cheese, like, I'm just like, I don't want to eat. I don't want it. So like, it wasn't my gig. But I did a video on places that like are good fast food restaurants. I'll link it. But you know what I used to do high key back in the day? Go to Subway. Dang, I haven't been to Subway in a minute. Go to Subway. When I went, you gotta double check because I haven't been to Subway in literal years. But when I went, their sweet onion dressing or whatever was vegan. I used to get a sandwich. I'd be like, load it up. Give me all the veggies. And they'd be looking at me like, and I'm like, you heard what I said? I ain't ask you all that. Just load it up. And they do that. And then I get my little sweet onion dressing or whatever it was. And then I go home, I put some tofurkey on it. I put a little bit of mayo on it, a little vegan mayo on it. Got me a sandwich. Like, I'm living. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, get creative. Okay, so that's my take on what I think your first 24 hours of being vegan should look like. Let me know if you want a part 2. Like, what are you doing your first 3 days, or your first week, your first month? Because I could go on. I got tips for days, because I really hate when people be like, oh my God, you can't eat nothing because you vegan. I'm like, who not eating? Be for real. Or like, there's like, it's so hard. Oh, it's so expensive. It's really not. You just got to know what to do with it. I will say, like, I'm not going to act like there isn't a certain amount of like financial privilege that comes with being vegan. Like, you got to be able to afford stuff sometimes, but not always. Like, a bag of vegetables, frozen vegetables, costs 99 cents. Now, while I understand you can't only eat that, let's not act like incorporating elements of plant-based eating into your diet is like so expensive. But anyway, let me know what you think. Let me know if you want a part 2. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe so you never miss any of my videos. While you're here, check out my other video because you know it's about another video. Thank you again, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye, y'all.